Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome back to the Crypto Bully Bear channel where there's only fun decoding and no financial advice. Now, I was just sitting here thinking. I was thinking about gold. I was thinking about silver, right? And I was thinking about how gold is so much higher than silver. And how they always got to tell you the truth. In my honest opinion, I think silver is the true king. Then I started looking at crypto, right? And like I said, you see how silver's price is so much cheaper than gold's price. Then we go back to crypto. And I was just thinking, Bitcoin and Litecoin, right? Bitcoin is kind of like the gold coin, and Litecoin is kind of like the silver coin. And being that I have a funny feeling that silver is king, I was like, wouldn't that be interesting if Litecoin took a turn for a powerful move? Just like I feel like silver is going to be doing a powerful move soon. Good morning, everybody. So then I started looking at this image here. And like I said before, this, I believe, is the recycling machine over here. Okay. And if you look closely, you can see an M and a P or a B. It could be metal blockchain. It could be metal pay. Okay. But right here, now I believe that this is metal. Okay. Metal blockchain. Why is that also? Is because you know what I also left out in my last video? This guy has the metal armor on, okay? This is the knight, the metal armor, all right? And I did a video before stating how Marshall Hayner is the knight rider, all right? Not saying I'm correct. I'm just having fun with this riddle. Now, I said if Marshall Hayner is knight rider and he's wearing the metal suit or the metal armor, funny enough how you have the recycle and metal is part of recycle, okay? Then you have regulations because you're going to have the feds and the treasury and all those guys, the big dog government, implementing this new ecosystem. All right? Now remember, this is a cartoon. Everything had to get drawn in. Everything was put in here purposely. I look at the sword also. I see a little ball at the end. That kind of reminds me of the atom. Okay? As well as these little things on the armor's knight. They don't have to be there, but they are there. And if you go back, you can also notice that these symbols back there also connect to oil. And we know that data is the new oil. And we know XPR is the new data. All right. So that being said, and then he's got the silver on, right? I seen this guy, I think his name is Christopher Green. And he's shouting out Litecoin, Litecoin. Right? And funny enough, I had met somebody that they said they were very close to the CEO for Litecoin. Okay. Best friends, as they claim. Okay. Showed me pictures and everything, showed me videos and shit, sitting down, having dinner and shit. So a legitimate source, I would say. Okay. And he had told me a few things about like how big it would be. Nothing like, technical or anything about the coin itself. But basically saying don't sleep on it or whatnot. Then I'm going back to this riddle right here. And I'm like, this is metal, right? Blockchain. Litecoin was also mentioned a few times, right? With Metallicus, Litecoin's been mentioned a few times. Then I started looking at these coins. And if you notice, some coins overlay some other ones. Like we got Doge overlaying BAT over here. Then, I'm not too sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. that blue one. I don't know if that's Link, but it's not shaped as Link. You got Bitcoin Cash, you got Tether. You got the old school XLM. Who knows if that's a classic or something. Got Ethereum here by itself. XLM sitting on the bottom. Got Tron. What the heck that is? This is BSV. IoT. Yeah, I believe this is BSV right over here. Up there in the top. I believe this is the Proton. Okay, the Phoenix. This kind of looks like the face, the beak, the neck part of a Phoenix. And there's a supply there. I could be totally wrong, maybe not. But Internet of Things, IOTA, I believe this is the symbol. This is on the top, if you can see, it reaches the top. Then BSV's there, then Monero's right on the bottom. You got Cardano over here. They're kind of separate, nothing touching them. This cluster over here is pretty interesting. Like I said, you got Tron, you got Tether there. It looks like Tether might be attached to maybe Bitcoin Cash. I don't know what's going on here. But it's this part over here that really, Litecoin is actually layered over Bitcoin, if you can see that. Right? And then, I don't know, there's this thing going around with 77777. I don't know what it is, but even in the movie Snake Eyes. All right, so somebody is telling me that this blue square here is called waves. All right, thank you for that. So that's waves there. So going back over here. Now, I know this kind of looked familiar, right? And again, this number 7 has been going around talking about the number 7. In the movie Snake Eyes, weirdly enough, there's a part in the movie where I think Nicolas Cage's phone rings or some shit like that. And I don't know if it was the Ring Girl or somebody said something about your number 7 or your favorite number is 7. Okay? As well as I just seen a commercial with Old Spice and some guy, I think from the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. From the Falcons, right? Phoenix from the Falcons wearing 7 in a commercial. And weirdly enough, I was trying to find it and I can't find it, but there's a bird view shot of where Trump got his ear shot at, right? And there's a scene there, and when I seen the bird eye view, it had like a walkway, and the walkway was shaped like a 7 as well too, which I found pretty interesting. Right? And then I'm looking at Litecoin, and if you hold Litecoin up down like that, that's a 7. Old school 7. When you put the slash right through it, you get a 7. So I was like, I wonder if the 7 has any type of connection to Litecoin. But even if it doesn't, which is very interesting, like I said, this overlay on there. Now, don't you find it funny how Bitcoin, right, and Litecoin are kind of like brother and sisters, but Litecoin is much, much cheaper. Bitcoin is over $100,000, and Litecoin is under $100, I believe. So, very interesting times. This scenario right here reminds me of XRP and XPR. Okay? How XRP, is a lot more expensive, just like Bitcoin is a lot more expensive. XRP is a lot more expensive. But yet, Litecoin is much faster than Bitcoin. Okay? XPR is much faster than XRP. But yet, even though their tech has more utility and has better tech than the other guy, and XPR's tech is better than XRP's, why is the price such much more cheaper. I'm just saying, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay? There has to be a reason why the Litecoin is overlaid over the Bitcoin. There's got to be some reason why the WebAuth wallet and Metallicus was kind of shouting out Litecoin as well, too. There's got to be a reason why I ran into the gentleman that is best friends with the CEO from Litecoin. There's got to be a reason why. So, you do what you want with this information. I was just putting it out there. Okay? Again, I'll show you all these coins here. And that's the recycling bin. And there's the metal armor. Okay? There's your metal armor. And recycling, you recycle metal, paper, plastic, cardboard. All right? So, as long as you're paying attention, like I said, metal pay, metal blockchain, okay? Metal it is. Metal it is. And there's your X right there. There's your core. There's your atom. Okay? Same little symbol in the middle over there is the same little symbol on his thing. Okay? Strawberry fields. Pay attention to what you're holding. And this is the one with the Comax and the easel that this guy's looking at. And remember, there's silver writing over there. It's all about the silver, okay? So, if you pay attention, there's the Proton. Like I said, this is the P for purple, okay? For Proton, all right? Right above the Phoenix. So, and if you notice, it's touching the arc. See, on the fire mantle, there's an arc. And that's what it's touching. Again, you can say I'm reaching and that's fine, but if I'm correct, there's going to be an explosion coming soon. Everything is going to be explosions. What are you guys saying on here? Could it be the Coinbase wallet? Could be. What's up? Good morning. So everything will be flipped. I agree. Litecoin is an OG coin, been around for ages, and the angle of the knight holding up the sword fits Litecoin symbol. The knight in another image. Yep. What up? What up? So Litecoin. Litecoin. Well, you do what you want with that information. Not financial advice. Just thought I'd throw that out because in my other video I had left that out. And you can tell that's metal blockchain right there. Because like I said, why would this guy have a recycled image with the crane there? Okay. Yeah, it's not possible on YouTube. They didn't let me monetize my channel. Whatever. You can send it to I Told You So WebAuth wallet if you want to send anything. I Told You So WebAuth wallet. But in the meantime, like I said, this riddle shows a recycling thing. And in recycling, we have metal. There's even a metal knight touching this particular thing. You don't find it weird that they put this weird-ass kind of concoction steering wheel type thing with a recycling thing? And we know that recycling has metal, and we know a company that's called Metallicus that got a coin called metal that's going to layer 0. And we understand that every institute and bank globally will use its own blockchain, and they will have to go through the Metallicus ecosystem through metal blockchain layer 0. See the 0, layer 0. See the guy's hand. He even has in his hand also there's like a little core there. There's a little fucking core there, just like here, just like here. Pay attention, pay attention. All right? They just stuck this thing in here to show you that they're going to recycle. That would be wild. And remember, they said a lot of coins are going to go to 0. A lot of coins are going to disappear. All right? I would not be surprised if these are the coins that survive here. Why are they showing these particular coins? Why? Right? Everybody's talking about BSV, right? So I don't think BSV is going to go anywhere. Doja, we don't think is going to go anywhere neither. They're talking about privacy coins. There's Monero. Tron, I don't believe, is going to go anywhere neither. It's part of the Alcor, I believe, also. Like I said, Tether ain't going anywhere because everybody believes Tether's going somewhere. Jed McCabe, he can't be touched. So obviously, XLM is going to be there to stay. Ethereum has heavy customers on their network. I think Metallicus is smart enough to fucking convince them to wrap into the Metallicus system and suck in all those people. Now you got to remember also, Bitcoin is the first coin that brought Marshall Hayner into this space to begin with. Why wouldn't he want to save this coin? Why wouldn't he want to save this coin? Okay? And Litecoin. Why would the Metallicus be tweeting about Litecoin if it wasn't going to be something big? Yes, that's IOTA on top over there. This one up here, the top one, that's like by the fire. I believe that's IOTA. Welcome in, Mike. Do I know about Scorpio and Taurus by November the 5th? No, I was just reading something like that, but no, I do not know the specifics on it. And that's weird because we had Scorpio in the decodes. I was saying Taurus was in my decodes as well too. If you watch Meet the Fuckers, heavy coding for Taurus. So yes, we can see something exploding. November 5th, I believe, is the full moon, beaver moon, I believe, on that day, or super moon. And I think it's the beginning of Taurus as well, too. No Mormon coins. I got no Mormon coins. I don't have any Mormon coins to stake, so I don't. No staking for me. Sorry, man. There is no purple in here, except for the stocking, my man. Except for the stocking. There is no roads in this riddle. Hold on a second. Are you saying at 315, 1315, 5th of November? That is wild right there. I'm going to take a screenshot, actually. Because 315 is part of my decode. At 315, I believe there's something major going to happen with the connection with 315. So, just weird that you typed in 1315, 5th of November. That's the time that it's actually going to do something. Well, Joy, like I said, so Joy is asking, do we think going into the fire means going to the phoenix system that rises from the flames, a type of purification, right? Making compliant all those coins. I believe so. Because over here, like I said, you got Marshall Hayner, right? The Knight Rider, the Knight. You got Metal Blockchain, I believe, layer 0. Everybody's going through layer 0. And I always thought that Proton was the Phoenix, was the chosen one. I believe Proton XPR is much bigger than what we really believe it to be. Again, there's no fucking way that they're going to make it on the news that the Pope got a horse named Proton. Okay? The Pope got a horse named Proton. All right? I told you probably last year or the year before, this is going to be a biblical event. A biblical event. Now, you can take your chances with any other coin out there, whatever you want to do. Like I said, this ain't no financial advice. But, again, you have the Pope who got initiated into the system on a 589 date, okay? May 8th, 2025. 589. Everybody's screaming about 589 connected to XRP. Just saying. But yet, the Pope who got elected or pushed into the system on 589, May 8th, 2025, got a horse named Proton. 589, Proton. Previous. We already broke down his name. Okay? So again, you can take your chances with other players, companies, and coins. But I'm telling you that Proton will be part of a biblical type of event. Regardless on what you think or what you feel, that's my feelings and not financial advice. So, I'm just saying. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Like I said, this is what I see here. I see Proton right here with the purple. See how everything just kind of lines up? Like, here it is, purple. See how it's laying on the wood? The wood equals paper. Paper equals the dollar. Dollar equals death. Paper money is trash, in my honest opinion. You need to take your monopoly money and transfer it over to a real asset. All right? So I believe showing you the purple here. Okay? Showing you the purple here, right over this. I believe that looks like a bird. To me, it does. Even here, look at the face here. See how this bird is kind of dead, and then this bird looks like it's rising out of this ash right here. This kind of looks like the head, and looks like the wing, and it kind of looks like the wing here. So again, I'm playing with this. So this image is from Bearable Guy. Bearable Guy. There you go. Bearable Guy 123 on X. Bearable Guy 123 on X. Bearable Guy 123 on X. So last chance, and then I'm getting it off the recycling bin. Everybody's coming to make their own blockchain, and how will they do that? Through Metal X. Through Metal blockchain. The layer 0. Then the layer 1 is XPR. You see? Green. Okay. It's going to be go time. And there's the knight with the metal, with the recycling metal. I mean, that's to me. Okay. The Phoenix, the chosen one, the Phoenix. All right. Proton, XPR. And then, like I said, you have the standard. Okay. In the ISO 222, you will see coins around the globe. And the globe that says ISO 200 and the other globe, okay, that says isotope, whatever you want to say. Swift. Swift and ISO 200 is the standard. And the standard is Metal Blockchain and XPR, okay? They're using these particular technologies for the standard. And then you're going to have members that use the standard. Okay? Understand that. You're going to have members of the ISO 200. I'm not saying these guys are, but I'm saying you're going to have outside coins that are going to be members and participate with the standard. And these are the tools that I believe that will be running the standard. All right? So do what you want with that information, people. And stay on the purple road. Have a good night, peeps. And if you care to share a little love, you can send some at I Told You So at the WebAuth wallet. WebAuth wallet, I Told You So. Good night, all.